Welcome back, Year 9's Exercise 4I today. Parallel and perpendicular lines. You probably already know what those words mean, parallel and perpendicular. What do we mean by parallel? Continuing at the same gradient. What's the easiest thing everyone says to picture? Railway tracks, when they're in a straight line. Going in a straight line, facing the same direction, always going to continue, same width apart the whole time, same distance between them, travelling in the same direction. Will they ever meet? No. They're going to continue next to each other, equally spaced, in a straight line for as far as you can see. Examples of parallel lines here, the blue and green ones there. The symbols for parallel, you know all about parallel lines. We've done angles between parallel lines. What do we know about parallel lines? Their gradients are equal. You can see here the blue line, y equals 2x plus 1. Green line, y equals 2x minus 2. The lines are parallel. They have the same gradient. Each one, you go up 2 spots for every one you go across. Up 2 for every one I go across. Same gradient. What's the 1 and the negative 2 referring to? You remembered, good people, the y-intercept. This one's got a gradient of 2, but it goes through the y-axis at 1. The green line's got a gradient of 2. It's going through the y-axis at negative 2. So there are always 3 units between. Doesn't matter where I choose on those lines, 1, 2, 3, that blue line's going to go right through that little lattice point there. It's going to be exactly the same. Perpendicular. You've probably heard before. Most of you will remember. Some of you might not be 100% sure. Means at right angles to another line. We like to have our walls perpendicular when we build buildings, usually. Not always. We generally like to have them perpendicular to the ground, going straight up. That makes it a bit easier for load bearing. Here, perpendicular lines indicated by a right angle. Now, there's an easy way to find the gradient of a perpendicular line. And they tell you over here, it is the negative reciprocal. So, if I know the gradient of one line is 4, the negative reciprocal, negative, put a minus sign in front of that 4, it'll be negative 4. Reciprocal, turn a fraction upside down. Well, 4 is 4 over 1. Turn it upside down, 1 over 4. What about the next one? M1 is negative 2/3. What's a perpendicular gradient? Well, if I put a negative in front of a negative, another negative, and take away a negative, if I take away something negative from your life, it's going to be better, isn't it? So that becomes positive. And then what's the reciprocal of 2/3? Turn it upside down, 3 over 2, 1.5. But we'd just leave it as 3 over 2. That's all we're going to be doing today. We're going to do a couple of examples, give you a chance to do a couple, and then it'll be straight into work. Let's see, example 17. Find the equation of a line parallel to y equals 3x minus 1 and passing through the point 0, 4. Well, it's parallel to this line, and that line has a gradient of 3, so I know that the gradient equals 3. I need to know the y-intercept. Well, the y-intercept happens when x equals 0. They've actually told me the y-intercept here, haven't they? They've told me that y equals 0, that x equals 0, so the y-intercept is going to be 4. So I can write down parallel, going to have the same gradient, y-intercept of 4. Oh, y equals 3x plus 4. There's one there for you to try as well. I'll pause the video, give yourself about 15 seconds, and I'll give you a minute or two. Then come and check and see if you get the same answer. A line parallel to this line, y equals 4x plus 3, passing through the point 0, negative 2. Have a go now. You've had a go. Yep, parallel, same gradient, so the gradient's 4. They tell me the y-intercept is negative 2, y equals 4x minus 2. Too easy. Perpendicular lines, perpendicular to the line y equals 2x minus 3, and passing through the point 0, negative 1. Oh, they've told me x is 0 again. They're making these a bit easy. I'm going to do my own one in a second. But that's going to tell me the c value is negative 1. That's my y-intercept. Now, perpendicular. So the gradient of this line is 2. Therefore, the gradient of a perpendicular line, and that's the little symbol there for perpendicular, that would be the negative reciprocal. So negative, the reciprocal of 2, what is it? That's right, 2 is 2 over 1. Turn it upside down, 1 over 2. So my equation would be y equals negative 1 over 2x minus 1. You might have written it as negative x over 2 minus 1. That's the same thing. You could write it any number of ways. As long as it's equivalent to that, that's fine. There's one there for you to try. Again, have a go now, and then come back and look for the one bonus one where I just want to show you a little extra trick. How do we go with this one? So this gradient was negative 3, perpendicular, negative reciprocal. Two negatives make a positive, reciprocal of 3, 1 over 3. So I've got the gradient is 1/3. They told me the y-intercept, I can write the equation. Let's do one more. I'll make it a perpendicular one, but it doesn't really matter if it's just slightly harder. I'm sure you could do it either way. Let's say I want to know the gradient, find the equation of a line. That's my little shorthand for equation of the line perpendicular to the line y equals 3 over 2x minus 4, and passing through 12,6. So the difference here, I haven't given you the y-intercept. I've given you a random point that I know it passes through. How do we go about solving this one? Well, we do exactly the same thing. So, perpendicular, so this gradient of the line I've been given is 3 over 2. So the perpendicular gradient, the negative reciprocal, would be negative 2 over 3. And I haven't been given the y-intercept, but I can find it. Let's have a look. From this, I know that my equation looks like y equals negative 2 over 3 x plus c. And I want to find that c value. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sub in the point. I know it passes through this point, so it must work if I put in this point. Sub in the point 12,6 to solve for c. Let's see if that's going to get us there. So, y is equal to 6. And that's equal to negative 2/3. X is 12. Plus c. Keep going through your working here. Negative 2/3 of 12. 3 goes into that 4 times. I make that negative 8. Plus c. Add 8 to each side. 14 is equal to c. So now I can write the equation. Equation of the line, of the required line, let's make sure I'm really clear, is y equals negative 2/3 x plus 14. And there you have it. You can even do the tricky ones. All right, I'll leave you to do your work. You've had enough of me. Good luck. Keep up your great efforts. Don't forget to fill in the forms at the top. Don't forget to try the quick questions as well. All those things are going to help you. Oh, look at that. Some upgrade questions I haven't put in there. I'll put them in there hopefully before you get to them. Keep up the good work, guys. Bye for now.